And now welcome inside the Collins Arena as we get set for Jersey Blues basketball here on Brookdale TV. Brian Goudsward, Tim Catalfamo here with you as the Jersey Blues men's team will take on Atlantic Cape today. Brookdale has hit their stride of late. They've won 6 straight games following a 3-game losing streak to start the new year, and they're now up to the number 6 spot in the Region 19 standings. And Tim, I think the thing that stands out, it sounds simple, but this Brookdale team during this good stretch of basketball, they've just gotten back to their identity.
Yeah, they finally have been able to get some consistency, and we talk about the 2 players that they added on a couple of months ago and back in the beginning of January, Jordan Smith and Tyler Hawkins. They really changed the dynamic of the team completely, especially because now Brookdale finally has the team that they're looking for. So they really have kind of come full circle. You talked about it a couple of games ago, Brian, with the streakiness of this team. They went through a streak where they run a lot of games at the beginning of the year, then they went through a slump, and then went back on a streak. They finally, I think, have gotten themselves together and are poised to make a run at the postseason.
And the starting lineups now being introduced as the Brookdale lineup comes out. And here is the starting lineup for the Jersey Blues. And it will be a lineup today of Jordan Smith, Teray Gatling, Tyler Hawkins, Randy Sutton, and Jameer Calhoun, as Paul Chizek goes back to his A group. After the last couple of games, they've had some substitutions as part of the starting lineup. And for the visiting Atlantic Cape Buccaneers, there you go to look at their bench, led by head coach Robert Anderson. And their starting 5 will be Ashawn Centino, Kenneth Allen, George Pierce, Isaiah Price, and Jalen Hudgens. It's an Atlantic Cape team that's very capable, playing to a 500 record this year at 8-8. And the first time these two teams met, it was Atlantic Cape that came out on top.
Yeah, Atlantic Cape certainly was a much different team at the beginning of the year because they had a lot more players. They were kind of in the same boat that Brookdale was in. They started off the year very strong. They lost a couple of players due to some ineligibilities, and now they're kind of at square one again, where now they're starting to kind of circle the wagons and gather themselves back up. You mentioned it a moment ago. They're not a bad team. 8-8, 8-8 in the Region 19 conference. They have not played any non-conference games this year, so with that being said, they've held themselves pretty well in the tough conference with the teams that they have played, such as Union, Passaic, Camden. So they've held their own against some very good teams in the region. I expect this to be a very good game because of that.
And Atlantic Cape enters the night in the number 10 spot. Brookdale, as mentioned, at number 6. We're ready for the opening tip, and we're underway. The Brookdale Jersey Blues control it. And again, the officials are Matt Walski, Dick Hecker, and DeJuan Jones. Jersey Blues on their opening possession. Gatling along the baseline, a jump shot. It rims out. It's rebounded by Hudgens. And all the way to the basket, rejected. That was Jalen Smith denying the attempt from Kenny Allen. Gatling's try at the rim doesn't go. And a fast pace to start the night, as coming back this way is Pierce, who misses, so each team trading misses on transition attempts. Now Brookdale will try to get on the board, and Calhoun does just that. Atlantic Cape comes off a 76-64 loss on Saturday at the Bergen Bulldogs. That was a recent opponent of the Jersey Blues as well. 1 minute in. Centeno, nice move, and it goes glass to tie it up at 2. Ashawn Centeno, the leading scorer for the Buccaneers. He averages over 21 a game. There's Sutton. And Hawkins with a jump shot that goes down for 2.
Yeah, and Tyler Hawkins has really developed the last several games. In fact, ever since he joined the team, Brookdale has not lost a game. So, as I talked about in the open, part of the reason why Brookdale's been able to get back on track after having that slide to start the month of January.
Kenneth Allen is able to hit inside the arc. The freshman out of Mays Landing and the second leading scorer for Atlantic Cape.
And you see Atlantic Cape in this, what appears to be kind of disguised zone defense. You're going to see that a lot. Talking to Coach Anderson before the game, he's going to try to give Brookdale a lot of different looks when they have the ball on offense to throw them off.
Shot clock's down to 8. Calhoun gets it to go off the glass.
And that's a good matchup down low. Actually, Isaiah Price, who's 6'6", has a couple inches over Jameer Calhoun, but he's able to finish underneath the basket.
George Pierce. Atlantic Cape gets set up way outside with Allen. Allen for Pierce, 3 on the way, too strong, and Sutton going for the rebound with Price. It's Brookdale basketball. Jersey Blues most recently knocked off Schenectady Community College by a 62-49 score. That was on Sunday.
Yeah, that
Not
game
only
was.
have they won 6 in a row, but the last 3 coming on the road. As Sutton fakes. Gatling in the paint. Kick out for Sutton. His three-pointer won't go, and it's rebounded by Price.
Yeah, you talked about that Schenectady game, Brian. That was actually more unexpectedly close than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. A team that's little well-known, but they put up a good fight against Brookdale.
Jordan Smith, the one-hand flush. It's 8 for Brookdale. Just over 3 minutes in tonight. Centino with Sutton on him. Around the perimeter and Pierce. Hudgens got good position and he flips it home.
And that's just good ball movement. You saw the patience that time by Atlantic Cape on offense. They were able to find the big guy downstairs, and a nice finish there by Hudgens.
Buccaneers have those 2 big guys that are tough to block out. Price and Hudgens, as Calhoun unable to hit, and it's rebounded by Hudgens. Here comes Pierce. Taken away by Calhoun. Now Brookdale's running. It's Smith. And he got hit hard by Centino, looking for his second dunk in the early going. This time he'll go to the line.
Yeah, just clearly a foul there on Centino trying to get back on defense. However, I will say Atlantic Cape has done a nice job in transition, because we saw to start this game a lot of back and forth. Getting back on defense in transition is going to be a key tonight against Brookdale. So far, Atlantic Cape's been able to hold their own. You can't give up a foul, though, there, especially when someone you have like Jordan Smith, who's going to make that layup. Sometimes it's better just to let that guy go.
It's the first foul of the game as Smith misses. 74% free throw shooter. Here's Prince Samuels, first off the bench for Atlantic Cape, and he replaces George Pierce. Smith, the freshman from Hazlitt, recently joining this Brookdale team, and he's provided a spark.
Yeah, last game that we had, which was at home against Bergen, we saw him with some really incredible dunks. We saw a dunk a moment ago with the one hand, so he's a player that can get out and run and fits in very nicely with this up-tempo offense that Brookdale has.
9-6 Jersey Blues lead it. Centino pointing. Shot clock at 10. Centino crossover, dumps it off inside, and Price couldn't get it to go, and it's taken by Sutton.
Yeah, Price has just got to go up just a little bit harder. He had position, but he kind of hesitated just a smidge, and that's what allowed Brookdale to get there on defense.
Here's Gatling coming up short, and it's rebounded by Price. Centino backing up. Allen going around the screen, tried a backdoor cut. It was kicked by Hawkins, looking for Samuels. It'll be an inbounds play for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and a good find there by Allen, looking for Samuels. He was cutting to the basket, but that pass was just a little bit behind him.
Now Centino, another kickball, so you don't often see 2 kickballs on the same possession, but that's what Brookdale has here. Shot clock back to 20.
And that's good defense. The problem is the shot clock resets to 20 every time that happens. So that's twice now that Atlantic Cape's kind of gotten bailed out by that.
And that's a turnover as Allen's pass goes out of bounds. So Brookdale, the overall record is up to 15-7, and that after starting 5-4, they've now won 10 of their last 13 overall.
And 6 in a row. So, I mean, they've certainly been improving. And you look at where they are in the region standings, 13-6. That's pretty good showing as far as the average is concerned. They're 6th in the standings. They could move up to 5th if they get a win tonight.
Smith, it's an air ball on a baseline jumper. Centino with a head of steam. That's an offensive foul. Hawkins took the hit, and it's team foul number 2.
And that's a good call by the officials. You saw Hawkins there stay steady, not move, not flinch in any way. He wasn't within that restricted area. A lot of people at home may think, well, he was in that restricted area. He was off to the side of it, so that's why that's an offensive charge called and not a blocking foul.
So both fouls thus far had been on Centino. Atlantic Cape set to make a substitution at the next dead ball.
So far, Brookdale has not substituted anybody, Brian. They've been going hard for 6 minutes.
Hawkins got bumped. Hawkins into the lane with a step back. Off the rim, no. Tippin and goes in and out, and Allen takes the rebound. Kenneth Allen stripped to the ball, but a reach in on Hawkins. Brookdale picks up their first, and here's Raymond Abbott checking in for Centino with those 2 personals. Allen the inbounder. Abbott gets a quick touch back to the corner. Allen catching fire off the rim. It's rebounded on the offensive end by Hudgens in the putback.
Yeah, just a lot of bodies downstairs for Atlantic Cape, doing a nice job grabbing that rebound. Brookdale's got to do a better job at boxing out, but also backing bodies away from that rim to get the ball when it drops.
Strong move by Smith with the spin and the bucket. Brookdale up 3.
Nice patience there by Smith. Ball fake, getting the man in the air, get a clear look at the basket, and is able to get in and go off the glass.
Price able to catch it down low, missed it, follow, that doesn't go, and rebound Calhoun.
Yeah, and I think Price may have gotten fouled. I think that's a missed call there by the officials.
Hawkins takes it to the rim, and he's fouled. Tyler Hawkins will go to the line. And we'll have a timeout. A 30-second timeout. And Tim, I think the thing that stands out so far as we played just about 7 minutes is both teams are playing a high-flying style of basketball.
Well, they're certainly up-tempo offenses for sure. I mean, Brookdale, we know, likes to run. We talk about that, seems like every game, because that's just the way that they run their offense. But we mentioned how I think Atlantic Cape would match up well against Brookdale because they kind of have a similar up-tempo offense as well, and they have players that can push the ball up the floor. The one thing that I've noticed with Atlantic Cape is they're moving the ball around very effectively on offense, but it's only when they can settle in on offense that they can move that ball around and get good shots. I think that they can run with Brookdale, but that's not really their strength. Their strength is going to be trying to slow the game down so they can work for a good shot. That's how I think they're going to be able to stay with Brookdale, who so far has not taken great looks around the perimeter, but has a 3-point lead.
So Hawkins at the line outside the timeout, making his 7th start of the year. And nothing added 2. Price the rebound.
Yeah, we talk about how good Hawkins is as a player. That's an area that he's struggled in, actually, Brian. He's only shooting 56% from the line. That's a number that if you're a point guard, you got to have a better average when you're at the foul line.
And inside is Hudgens for the easy 2. 11-10, Brookdale leads it. Smith drives, dumps it off Sutton, and he scores.
Just nice control there by Smith, and then be able to find Sutton there and able to finish at the rim.
That's taken away by Sutton. Good anticipation. Now Gatling back for Sutton, flips it up, no good, and another rebound, Price.
Yeah, Sutton just wasn't ready for that one.
Here's Allen, Kenneth Allen, all the way to the bucket.
And that's going to irritate Coach Chisak because that was a transition bucket. Nobody comes down and picks Allen up. Hawkins kind of really didn't have much of a choice there because he had 2 or 3 guys from Atlantic Cape coming right at him, but just poor transition defense there for the Jersey Blues.
Hawkins has it stripped. They got a foul on the Buccaneers, which will be team foul number 4. Not in the act of shooting as Hudgens picks up his first. The inbounder Hawkins. Calhoun on the turnaround. Gatling on the offensive rebound. Calhoun puts it back up. Off the rim, no good, and tapped over to Price. Price is just a rebounding machine for this Atlantic Cape squad.
Well, he's 6'6". He's a big body underneath. Brookdale does not have anybody that is listed at that size. So he, along with Hudgens, are going to be 2 players that Atlantic Cape's going to have to depend on downstairs.
Samuels can't connect, but Price can.
And there you go, right on cue. Atlantic Cape's got their first foot lead of the game.
14-13.
Just good box out there by Price.
Come up on 11 minutes to go. First half, Gatling, well contested and taken by Price.
Yeah, I think Price may have injured himself. He was going up right at Gatling. I think he may have gotten away with a foul, but I think he pulled something there as he's slow to come down the court.
Kenneth Allen drills a 3-ball. And Atlantic Cape has opened up a 4-point advantage. Sutton on the perimeter. Floating pass for Hawkins. He puts up a 3. Won't go. Calhoun gets the rebound. Brookdale a second chance opportunity. Smith, jump shot, and the rebound by Allen.
Yeah, see, that's not really Brookdale's strength. Somebody has to come out and help Smith so that he can drive to the bucket and attack the rim. As you see, Hudgens there again with another rebound.
And Paul Chizek has seen enough. A big run gone on here by the Buccaneers, as they now have a 6-point edge, as you see the second chance bucket by Hudgens. We'll take a break on Brookdale TV. We'll be right back.
Every journey we take in this life starts with a single step. My journey at Brookdale started with that step.
We are all starting a new adventure. Thank you for helping me get my start at Brookdale.
Teaching is all about encouraging a passion.
We are from many countries. We have many things in common to live our American dream.
Brian Goudsword, Tim Cattle-Famma, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew with you tonight. Single game here on Brookdale TV. This was originally supposed to be a doubleheader, but the women's game against Atlantic Cape was postponed. Stephon Forbes has checked in for Brookdale. About halfway through this opening half, Brookdale looking for some answers, now down 6. Forbes, quick trigger, won't go for 3, and it's rebounded by Samuels.
Yeah, Stephon Forbes is a player that also joined the team around the same time that Jordan Smith and Tyler Hawkins got eligible. But he's one of those players that likes to be in the wing, Brian. He likes to shoot those corner shots from the left or the right wing, and those are fine, but I'd like to see Stephon Forbes. He's got a good dribble. Try to attack the ball inside and take maybe a closer range jumper, which is much more higher percentage. I think that would help his play on the field, or help his play on the court a little bit better.
Oh, Hawkins has it rejected by Price. Allen grabs hold of it, inside for Samuels, shot misses, and the rebound taken by Smith. That was an emphatic rejection on the other end by the Buccaneers and Price, who averages over 1 a game. Forbes tries again. This one is no good. Forbes 0 for 2 to start. Brookdale has gone cold from the floor. Abbott fires. Won't go, and it's rebounded by Gatling. Brookdale running back this way. Hawkins, nice fake, and he lays it in.
And I like that attack by Hawkins going to the bucket. He could have given it off to Forbes, but Forbes, I think, would have taken it to the corner. So I like Hawkins going inside, going to the rim, and finishing it.
You see on the replay, Kenneth Allen really went for that fake. He was fooled, and Brookdale took advantage. 19-15. Hudgens loses it, and Hawkins moves it ahead for Forbes. Forbes to the basket. It rolls off the rim as Forbes was looking for a call. There was none.
But I like that aggressiveness going to the rim.
Samuels gliding to the basket. Hudgens misses the follow. And Brookdale has numbers this way if they hurry. Forbes for Hawkins to the basket. It goes, and the foul. Tyler Hawkins finishing with the left hand and a chance for three. Emilio Stevenson checks in now. Hawkins looking for improvement in this department at the foul line at just 56%. No problem there, and Brookdale now down by one. This is an Atlantic Cape team that's very efficient on the offensive end. They shoot very well from the floor, 58%, which is number one in the Region 19. That's been on display so far. Allen tries a long three, and he's got it.
And you know what, right on cue, Brian, something that when you mentioned that 58% from the floor, they as a team shoot 36% from behind the arc. And I was just going to say, we have not seen them taking 1 3 in this game. And of course, Allen beats me to the punch and knocks down that three.
Hawkins finds Gatling, and he's fouled. Teray Gatling to the line now. Brookdale is set to make a change.
I don't know where everyone's going. Everyone was walking off to the other side of the court. You're shooting foul shots on this end. I'm not sure really what that was all about. Only 2 people at the line right now, Gatling and 2 Atlantic Cape players.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the formation, if you want to call it that here. It's Calhoun who goes to the Brookdale bench. And Brookdale contentious defending in the backcourt as Gatling misses.
I think that has to do with Atlantic Cape being able to run the ball up the floor and score in transition, when I think that's just something that Coach Chizak has seen. I don't want to give up any more transition buckets. I'm not going to take any chances here. I trust my sophomore leader on the foul line. Obviously, he missed the foul shot in the second attempt, but I trust him enough. I'm going to pull my players down here and just play defense.
Inbounds for Abbott. That's deflected out off Hawkins. And Calhoun's rest was all of 10 seconds. He returns for Gatling.
Yeah, Calhoun hasn't had the greatest of games the last couple of days. He only had 6 against Schenectady, and in that game, he really didn't take that many attempts. As you see Allen again from behind the three-point line.
And Paul Chizek takes a timeout, wondering what happened to his perimeter defense. Sutton providing too much of a cushion.
That's NBA range right there for Allen. Wow.
He's hit a couple from deep of late. And this Atlantic Cape team here on the road making the trip north from where they make their home in Mays Landing, and a good start here on the road.
Yeah, I mean, you see Coach Anderson there in the center, second-year head coach. He's been with the team now for 5 years. He actually was an assistant coach for the first 3 years. He felt very good about this team. Of course, we talked about the ineligibilities, and Brookdale's been plagued by them as well, so I think it kind of evens itself out. But this is a good Atlantic Cape team. I know that they're not one of the most talked about teams in the region, but they're decent, they're good. We talked about their field goal percentage alone just keeps them in games. The only problem that they have struggled with this year has been foul shooting. We haven't really seen that affect them in this game, and obviously they've got a 7-point lead, so it hasn't really affected them at all. But if this game comes down to foul shooting, that's where we're really going to be able to see if Atlantic Cape can hold this.
Sutton couldn't finish it. It's one-handed by Price. The Buccaneers are running, but Hudgens did not catch the pass. Reset the Brookdale lineup. They have Sutton, Hawkins, Calhoun, Smith, and Stevenson, the 5 on the floor. And a turnover. Here's Allen racing to the basket, lays it up and in. Allen has scored 8 points now in a blink. And it's the largest lead for Atlantic Cape, up to 9.
And this is the first team that I've seen in the Collins Arena that's been able to do this to Brookdale, score that quickly after giving up a lead, which was at one point by 8 or 7.
Calhoun follows up the Smith miss.
Yeah, just good presence of mind there by Smith. Man, gotten fouled from behind there by Price. I didn't quite see it, but Calhoun, I think, gets his first 2.
Price lost it, loose on the floor. This will be a jump ball, as looked like head coach Robert Anderson was signaling his team had it. You could hear one of the officials audibly say, no one has it. And by virtue of the possession arrow, it's Buccaneer basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Coach Anderson got the timeout, but as one of the officials said on the floor, nobody had full possession of that basketball to make that call. If you're Brookdale, this actually is kind of a nice thing, just a little bit of a rest, because Atlantic Cape's just been running very efficiently and have been able to get good looks, good shots.
Inbounds goes out to the back court. Shot clock's down to 10. Ball way outside with 5 to shoot.
I don't know if they realize this, Brian.
Allen has to put it up! And they had no idea the timer was winding down, and that's a violation. It's just a case of not knowing the situation.
Yeah, I think because of that tie-up, a lot of people forget when there's a tie-up on the floor, that doesn't mean the shot clock resets necessarily. So I think that was just a miscommunication there from Atlantic Cape, not realizing the shot clock was down that low.
Calhoun, smooth jumper from the baseline.
And Calhoun's going to have a big night. If Brookdale's going to be able to hang with Atlantic Cape or really anybody in the Region 19 Conference, Calhoun has to get going early on, especially down low with shots like that from around the perimeter.
Allen sees a double team. Over for Abbott. Inside and on the floor is Smith. And did he call a timeout? He did.
Yep, I think he got the timeout.
So it'll be a quick timeout. Brookdale trying to claw their way back in this game after once trailing by 9. You see Robert Anderson, and he has some enthusiasm coaching on the Buccaneers sideline.
Yeah, I talked to him before the game, and I asked him what exactly was his strategy tonight, and he said, you know what, honestly, Tim, I think I'm just going to have to evaluate what Brookdale has and make adjustments from there. And we've seen them do that tonight. From the very drop of the opening tap, I mean, they've been able to keep pace with Brookdale. And we talked about in the Bergen game how when Bergen came here to play, they were ready to play. Atlantic Cape definitely showed up ready to play Brookdale tonight. There's no question about that.
And a reminder that our telecast is brought to you by Joyce's Subs and Pizza. They're located at 655 Newman Springs Road in Lincroft and available online at joycessubsandpizza.com. Brookdale basketball outside the timeout. Smith drives. Shot misses, and Smith gets his own rebound. Stevenson pops, and the rebound Price.
Just good defense there by Atlantic Cape. Even when they were man-on-man and Smith had that open lane to the bucket, everyone collapsed and made Smith have to take a tough shot inside.
Here's a 3-on-1 developing, and Sutton finishes it off. Quickly, Samuels the other way. And Atlantic Cape will get set up, working with a 3-point lead. Catch along the perimeter. Samuels a jumper. And the rebound taken by Hudgens. Back up with it and off the glass for 2.
I tell you what a beautiful shot there by Hudgens that time. Great adjustment. That was a tough shot inside. Got it to fall off the glass.
Price the rebound, and he is hacked. It's Jordan Smith who got a piece of him. Brookdale picks up team foul number 3.
Watch this patience here by Hudgens inside. That's a tough shot with the right hook off the glass and in.
29-24.
And Jalen Hudgens was on the team last year. We saw him in action against Atlantic Cape put up some big numbers there as a freshman. Now as a sophomore, I think he's even better now because now he's gotten more experience, and he's showing that he's tough to guard inside when Brookdale's going man-to-man.
Here he takes a jumper that's too strong, and Forbes the rebound. Starts the break, and now Brookdale pauses. Gatling to a cutting Hawkins for the lefty bucket.
Yeah, Atlantic Cape really wasn't set on that defense on the one side of the floor, and you see this nice bounce pass inside to Tyler Hawkins from Teray Gatling.
Brookdale within 3. Allen is a weapon for the Bucks.
Last several minutes, Brookdale's tightened up their defense. They're really playing a lot tighter on a lot of the Atlantic Cape players, especially around the perimeter, because they know how good they can shoot.
Price has it taken away by Forbes. There may have been contact there as Sutton is fouled. And the Atlantic Cape bench throws its arms up in the air in frustration. Didn't think there was a foul there, but it's number 7 of the half.
Well, I will play devil's advocate there. There was some contact, but there has been similar contact like that on both sides of the floor that have not been called so far in this first half. So I can understand why there could be a little bit of a shock on the Atlantic Cape sidelines about that foul.
Sutton 58% from the line. Ashawn Centino is back in. He quickly picked up 2 personals, and we have not seen him for the majority of the half. Kenneth Allen gets a breather.
And you talked about Allen. He just picked up his 3rd personal, Brian. So he's a player that can shoot well from behind the perimeter, shoots 41% from 3 this year. He's a player that they can't have get in too much foul trouble, so he's probably going to be on the bench for the rest of the first half.
That's their 2 best players who are in foul trouble, so that bears watching. 2 minutes to go in the half. Bucks take their time getting into this set, and it costs them. Here is Hawkins through the lane, couldn't finish it. Gatling puts it up no good, and it's rebounded by Hudgens. Here's Centino, and he's held. Probably a good foul there to stop the break. It's Brookdale's 4th. And this one is on Sutton. Not in the act of shooting as George Pierce returns. Abbott jogs off. Brookdale on a 6-0 run the last couple of minutes to close within 1. Samuels short, and it's tipped, and the rebound to Smith. Forbes back for Smith, sets, fires for 3. Up and over the backboard and back to the Bucks.
And that's just really never been Jordan Smith's shot. I know that was a good look, and that was the right shot. You had the open look at the basket. You're behind the 3-point line. Go ahead, take that. But that's not really his strength. His strength is more driving the ball inside, shooting around the perimeter, and going hard to the rim. So I'd like to see him take a couple more dribbles that time.
Hudgens with the 2-hand dunk. That's worth a second look. As we're inside a minute to go now until halftime. Sutton gets inside, kick out. Forbes is open, in and out on a 3. It's rebounded by Samuels. Pushing up the floor, Centeno, bounce pass taken away by Forbes, and he keeps it in bounds. And now Brookdale potentially a 2-on-1. Here's Sutton all the way, blocked by Price. Scramble for the basketball. It's a jump ball, and it's staying on this end.
Wow. There's a lot of contact there for a jump ball.
10-second different shot in game clock. Dell makes a substitution. It is Calhoun for Forbes.
I'm surprised Calhoun was on the bench that long, actually, Brian, unless an injury that we don't know about. But he's been pretty quiet in this game. Really hasn't been on the floor as long as we've seen him in prior games.
Shot clock at 12. Hawkins step back, gives it up. Smith to the basket, layup is good. And now the timer turned off in the final 10 seconds of the half. Standing still is Centino, down to 4 seconds. Centino dribbling, puts up a three, won't go. It's rebounded by Gatling, and that closes out the first half. A good first half between these two teams ranked in the top 10 in the region. And after 20 minutes tonight, it's the Buccaneers with a skinny lead, 31-30. They once led by as many as 9, but Brookdale closed out the half in strong fashion and have cut it to 1. And so we'll get set to welcome you back inside the booth with Brian Goudsford and Tim Catalfamo. And Tim, you look at this game, and there's few teams that can play the style that Brookdale wants to play offensively, but I think what we've seen is the Buccaneers are up for the challenge. They can run with the Jersey Blues.
Well, they can run, and they came ready to play, most importantly. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the game how just some teams this year haven't really shown up in the Collins Arena. This is kind of like a Division I type of an arena, and I think that sometimes throws teams off. But Atlantic Cape definitely came ready to play. What I like about Atlantic Cape is they've been able to move the ball around, and they've been able to get shots inside. We talked about Price. We talked about Hudgens having some incredible rebounds inside. Those are two bodies that Brookdale has just had difficulty, I feel, in this game, boxing out and putting a body on. They really don't have someone that can match that size inside, and Atlantic Cape's been doing a very good job exploiting that. I will say, though, Brookdale was down by 8. They made a run. They've come close to tying the game, so they're not out of this game just yet, but there's going to need to be some adjustments made in the locker room, especially for Coach Chizak. They're going to have to get the ball more inside. They've had some perimeter looks that haven't gone in. You're going to have to get that ball more inside. And Jameer Calhoun's got to play much better. He was on the bench for 3-4 minutes late in that first half. I'm not quite understanding what happened there. I don't know if it's fatigue or something else going on, but he's got to have a bigger role on the floor if Brookdale's going to be able to pull this one out. And
so it's Brookdale down by 1. It's 31-30. We're at halftime here at the Collins Arena. We'll take a break and come back for the second half after this. Underway, Brian Goudsford, Tim Catalfamo back here with you. Brookdale regains a lead on the first possession of the second half. Hudgens' jumper doesn't go, and Calhoun the rebound. Brookdale starts the half with Hawkins, Smith, Sutton, Calhoun, and Gatling, the original starting lineup, on the court. It's now 32-31, Brookdale in the lead as we played about 1 minute. Gatling drive and kick, Hawkins for 3, and it's rebounded by Price. Buccaneers have played well today. They're the number 10 team in the Region 19 standings. Centino, he knocks down a long two-pointer. Aishan Centino, the leading scorer for Atlantic Cape, but limited much in the first half due to foul trouble. He and Allen are both in somewhat of foul trouble as here come the Bucks off the turnover. Centino gliding to the rim for the layup.
And we saw in the first half, Brian, how Atlantic Cape is a team that can get out and they can run and they can score points. Atlantic Cape comes out to start the second half with a head of steam. They've taken a 3-point lead. They're here to play. I don't think this is a team that's going to go away in the second half.
Jordan Smith gets inside and gets the bucket. And it's 35-34, 2 minutes in to the second half.
Somebody's got to help Santino out there. Set a pick or something. I don't think Atlantic Cape is really set on this side of the floor.
Down to 10 to shoot. Here is Price. It's blocked. Price gets it back. Up in the air. Hawkins tips it. And it'll stay with Atlantic Cape as Robert Anderson yells out to his team because there's 1 on the timer. 1 to shoot for the Buccaneers. It'll have to be a quick catch and shoot. You can catch and shoot with 1 on the clock.
But it's got to be, and it looks like Coach Anderson's going to call a timeout.
Did you just read his mind there?
Yep, I did. Well, he was making the gesture that he was motioning for a timeout, 30-second timeout. But in order for you to be able to finish that off with only 1 second on the shot clock, it has got to be a crisp inbounds pass that hits the guy right in stride. He's able to turn around, set his feet, and shoot. It has to be almost one motion, and I think that's why Coach Anderson took that timeout.
So they'll devise a play here. He's got the clipboard out. And you gotta watch Kenneth Allen in a situation like this, a guy who shoots it very well from long range.
And let me just bring some perspective in for a second. The reason why this is such a crucial possession is because look at the score. Look at where we are. Look at how this game has been so close from the majority of the going here. You cannot give up any crucial possessions here. You've got to make every possession count.
So here it is with one on the timer. It'll be Centeno gets it off, and he got it! Jean Centeno, that was a bomb.
And I'd like to say that's how Coach Anderson drew it up during the timeout. I don't know that was quite the way it was. That was a very long shot, but still a nice finish.
4-point Buccaneer lead now. Smith a jump pass. Calhoun through the lane, big finish. And we're seeing some highlights to start the second half. Centeno hesitation dribble and lost it out of bounds. Calhoun was in the area and forced the turnover. Tight game tonight. It was a tight game when these teams met back in December, a nail-biter that Atlantic Cape came out with a 91-89 victory. Looks like we might be in for more of the same. Hawkins way off the mark. It's rebounded by Centeno. Allen makes his move. Allen to the basket, and he gives it away into the hands of Sutton. Hawkins running the floor, layup, it's good.
What a way to attack there by Hawkins. He had two players on him, but he didn't get intimidated by that. In fact, he actually leaned in and was trying to draw contact. Atlantic Cape kind of backed off and gave him that bucket.
Tied at 38. Centeno dancing. Down to 10 to shoot for Price. Price double teamed. Way outside is Allen with 5. Allen bombs away. Short, and it's rebounded by Gatling. Brookdale looking to run. Up the floor is Smith. Smith lays it up and in. Brookdale back on top. Hudgens sets the high screen. Allen pivoting. Centeno, a crossover, uses the screen, scoop layup, oh, it goes.
And Centeno is just so athletic. He's so long, and the body way that he can put that ball up is incredible. Just nice job at the one end, and then, of course, Hawkins is able to come down and answer right back at the other end for Brookdale.
And the lead changing multiple times here in the second half as we played about 5 minutes. Prince Samuels checks in for Kenneth Allen, and Hawkins tries to complete a three-point play. And it's good. Centeno's been showing off his skills of late. Atlantic Cape taking their time getting into the offense, and a steal for Gatling. Gatling to the corner for Hawkins, driving baseline, reverse finish, beautifully done. Not sure how Hawkins stayed in bounds on that baseline drive. Just tiptoeing the boundary, and it's a 5-point lead. Price throws it inside. Samuels off the glass. It doesn't go. Here's Smith taking it 1-on-3. Gatling back for Smith. Fakes. Jump shot. Rimming, no. And it's rebounded by Hudgens. Playing the passing lane, Calhoun. Price goes up and scores.
What a nifty move there by Price, getting that pass, almost taken away by Calhoun. But once Calhoun got beat, there was nobody back there to defend Price.
6 minutes gone, second half. What a fun game this has turned out to be. Hawkins drives, fakes, and scores. He got Pierce in the air and he got the bucket.
And Tyler Hawkins has turned it up in the second half. He was kind of quiet in the first, but really now all of a sudden has turned in a lot of nice buckets for some offense for Brookdale.
Centino into the paint, in trouble. It's Hawkins who comes out of the scrum with the basketball, and possession arrow says it's Brookdale ball. Sutton. Drive and kick for Calhoun. Gatling, jump shot. Calhoun, the offensive rebound. Sutton inside. Doesn't go. Another rebound, Gatling. Back out to the perimeter. Hawkins for Sutton. Open look for three. Doesn't go, and it's rebounded by Pierce. Sutton drawing the assignment on Centino. High screen Hudgens. Centino slowly operating. Entry pass for Hudgens, and he gets it to go. That's just tough to stop as Smith went down, and he's a little shaken up.
Yeah, just nice patience here by Hudgens. I'm not really sure what happened to Smith here. I think he just came down on his own leg a little bit funny, trying to block away Hudgens inside, but Hudgens is a player. We talked about how good he is. He had 17 points in the loss that Atlantic Cape had against Bergen on Saturday. 31 blocks on the season, double-double, or double points, I should say, in the last 3 games.
And he had a big game when these teams met in December. 25 points and 11 rebounds on 12 of 13 shooting. As Sutton is fouled, it's team foul number 2 on Atlantic Cape. That is number 3, charged to Ashawn Centino. Inbounder Forbes. Inside Calhoun. Sutton to the basket, rejected by Price, but a foul. Paul Chizek will have to retrieve the blocked shot and throw it back in the field of play. And Sutton to the line as Hudgens picks up number 3.
He's got to have something to do on the sidelines. He's been pacing back and forth for almost an hour and a half now. Got to get some exercise.
By the way, Coach Paul Chizek celebrating a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to one of the legendary coaches in this program's history.
Wouldn't reveal how old he was. I asked him that.
We won't take any guesses. Sutton's second attempt.
As my Anna always tells me, over 21. Well, I think that's a safe bet.
Brookdale now with a 5-point lead. Allen is back in.
That's
Allen fouled by Hawkins. Brookdale has kept the foul number relatively low all game, and that's just their first of the second half.
Yeah, and give credit to Brookdale. They've really cleaned that up. We saw in some of the games that we've called this year, Brian, that fouls have been an issue for Brookdale. A lot of silly fouls, but you mentioned it. Pretty good job limiting that amount of fouls, and they really have not put Atlantic Cape at the line too many times in this game.
Dangerous inbounds pass was corralled by Centino. Allen drives to the rim and draws the foul.
And of course, just as we talk about that, Brian, now that's 2 straight fouls for Brookdale in 15 seconds. But that'll put Atlantic Cape at the foul line, a place that they really have not been very much. And we talked about that also in the first half. They're a team that's not a great foul shooting team at all. So they've just struggled mightily this year from the foul line. So this may not be necessarily a bad thing for Brookdale, actually.
Yeah, 58% as a team. For Allen, 61%. It's remarkable when you look at the total numbers for Atlantic Cape. From the field, they shoot 58%, so you'd think they'd be a good foul shooting team, but their foul number is identical. You almost never see that.
Well, it's certainly not an area that you can win too many games in, especially if they're close. So Allen does a good job making them both on the foul line that time. But especially if you're in a lot of these games, like Brookdale, or I should say Atlantic Cape has been this year, you've got to make your foul shots down the stretch.
Calhoun, that is pure.
And I feel like that's been there all game, but Brookdale's been reluctant to give it to Calhoun when he's had position inside. That time Price just was a little bit behind the play, and Calhoun, just that classic, was really where they were getting a lot of their offense from. Not so much points on the board, but their presence inside, especially in the rebounding category, was really huge in the first half. They haven't really been able to do that in the second half, so I don't know if there's going to be an adjustment being made by Coach Anderson on the sidelines. I hope there is, because I really do think that Brookdale's about to go on a run here, and Atlantic Cape may lose touch of this game if they're not careful.
5-point Brookdale lead. Brookdale ball outside the timeout. Ball movement, Sutton backing in and back out Stevenson. Sutton for Forbes. Down to 6 to shoot as Forbes' jumper goes off the side rim, and Price collects another rebound.
And that time you saw on defense, Atlantic Cape play much more closer to home. They kind of left the perimeter open, but they really clogged up the middle. That's where Brookdale's been getting the majority of their points.
Price unable to hit. It's rebounded by Stevenson. Sutton for 3. Brookdale has not had much luck from behind the arc tonight. Forbes for Calhoun, driving to the basket, doesn't go, but he follows it up for 2. Calhoun looking to throw down a monster one-hand dunk, had to adjust, and he put it back in. Halfway through the second half, Allen slows down the pace. Stevenson watching closely. That's Hudgens misses the jumper, and Sutton, along with Centino, who touched it last. It was Centino who did, and that gives it to Brookdale.
I don't know. I thought Brookdale may have touched that ball last, but that goes Jersey Blues' way. We saw Hudgens kind of at the foul line with a good look, but that's not really his strength. I think he would have been better off taking a couple hard dribbles and going up hard, trying to get to the foul line.
Smith misses the layup, gets his own rebound, reset of the shot clock.
Whatever was ailing Smith doesn't seem to be bothering him anymore.
Calhoun, he's got it. Calhoun has started to get going here in the second half. That jumper has been money all season. Cross court for Abbott. That's a steal. It's Gatling. Sutton lays it up and in. And this is the first time Brookdale has had a lead as high as double figures tonight. 57-46. Allen turns the corner. Abbott pops. Won't go for 3. Tip-in goes. It's Isaiah Price.
And the Bucks desperately needed that. I mean, they needed some type of a basket of some type, because Brookdale, I mentioned it a moment ago, was really starting to settle in on offense. They need to be able to get some quality stops. As you see Sutton there underneath the basket with an easy 2.
And a good look from Smith. Lead back to 11. You see a second look right there. Centino gets around Sutton, and he's fouled. Boy, he is quick going to the basket.
Yeah, he's one of their best players. He averages 22 points a game. He's pretty fast on the offensive end. He had 34 points against Camden, which was a season high for him a few weeks ago, Brian. So he's a player that can score a lot, but we really haven't seen too much out of Centino tonight.
And he shoots a remarkable percentage from the floor, 68%. From the free throw line, not quite as good, 65%. As Stevenson checks out for Brookdale, and back in is Hawkins. 1 out of 2. It's a 10-point game. Gatling, they give him the jumper, he doesn't take it. Down to 12 to shoot. Smith on the drive into the paint for a shot that's way short. Here's Centeno looking to take it to the rim. He does, and he lays it in.
And that's something that I was curious if we were going to see with Centeno in this game. He's really, really quick. We talked about that a moment ago. That time he just flat beat Randy Sutton to the hole and was able to make a nice finish with the left hand.
Sutton for Hawkins inside, a turnaround shot, he's got it. The advantage that Tyler Hawkins has as a point guard with his size at 6'4", that makes him a tough matchup. Allen can't convert on the inside. Brookdale's running. Sutton taking on 3 defenders, and it was blocked by Price and going the other way. And we'll have a timeout with 7:11 remaining, second half. We'll take a break here at the Collins Arena with the Jersey Blues in front, 61-51.
Brookdale's Anti-Stress Week. You can receive free massages and meditation bowls at the SLC, as well as partake in a stress management workshop. Check out a free screening of The Secret Life of Pets, or join in a virtual gaming experience and oxygen bar. Last but not least, students can come together for a snack and study session at the library. You don't want to miss out on all the fun. Please visit our website at brookdalecc.edu to find more information. I'm Sophia Parola with Brookdale Television. Thanks for watching.
How you doing? I'm Kyle Morgan from Piscataway, New Jersey.
And Garretsford, Tim Cattle Famo, the rest of our Brookdale TV crew with you tonight. It's been a good matchup. Brookdale and Atlantic Cape, the Jersey Blues lead at 61-51. They once trailed in this game by as many as 9 points. Only game on our schedule today, the women's game was canceled. They'll be back in action on Thursday against Essex, and we'll have that one for you right here on Brookdale TV. Allen inside the arc. It doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Price puts it back up and in. There have not been many answers for Isaiah Price on the glass. Down to 10 to shoot. As Gatling can't get it to fall. Rebound picked up by Hudgens. Here is Allen. And he'll go to the line. Brookdale's fourth of the second half. There's Robert Anderson in his second season. Last year, this Atlantic Cape team, the record was 2-18. They have had a big turnaround in year number 2 under Anderson.
Yeah, they certainly have, and Coach Anderson was actually talking to me pregame about next season. As a head coach, you're always looking to next year, so he thinks even next year his team is going to be even better than they are now because he has a very good recruiting class coming in, so big things happening down in Atlantic Cape over these next couple of years. They're going to be a team that you're going to be talking about much more often, a team we don't really talk that much about that's within the region that's played good this season. They're going to be something to handle next year. They're really going to be pretty good.
Allen hits 1 out of 2. It's a 7-point Brookdale lead. Inside for Calhoun. Sutton for Hawkins. Jump shot off the back rim, and it's rebounded by Allen. Kenneth Allen all the way. It doesn't go, and rebound Sutton. Floated ahead for Gatling. Gatling out of bounds. Calhoun, he couldn't finish it. And battling for the rebound, Price has got it. Allen walks it ahead. Abbott kicks. Centeno drives inside. Hudgens misses it off the glass. Loose and picked up by Price. Reset of the shot clock as Anderson makes his team aware, and they get reset with Allen. Hudgens sets the high screen. Allen is taken away by Smith. Centino back, Smith challenging him high off the glass, he gets it to go.
And a nice job by Smith putting his back to Centino. Watch Centino come down the floor. He's got position on him, but Smith kind of just backs up into him and not allows Centino to get an easy rejection.
Allen way short on a three. Hawkins takes it the distance, off the glass, +1. Chance for three for Hawkins. And that is now number 4 on Ashawn Centino. And that's trouble for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think Hawkins may have gotten bumped in the jaw there. I don't know if he has a cut or something, but part of the foul there.
Robert Anderson having a word with his freshman star as Hawkins completes the three-point play.
And I think you mentioned it a moment ago, Centino, he's got 4 personal fouls now, Brian. So I'm surprised he's actually remaining on the floor. I don't think Atlantic Cape has much of a choice. They have to keep him on the floor, but he's got to be careful he doesn't pick up his 5th foul.
And Atlantic Cape needs to get going on the offensive end again if they're going to get back in. Now down by 12 with 12 to shoot. Ball movement, Abbott fakes inside. Price got Gatling in the air, and he'll go to the line.
And I've noticed this the last couple times, actually the last several times, as a matter of fact, that Atlantic Cape has come down the floor. Both of their bigs, Hudgens and Price, are way beyond where the paint area is. Sometimes they'll come out all the way to the top of the key when the ball's on the one side of the floor. I don't understand that, because what it's doing is it's drawing Brookdale farther and farther away from the rim, and it's becoming very congested where Atlantic Cape does a lot of their passing, which is around the arc. And then when they try to get the ball inside to either someone like Price or one of the other bigs downstairs, they don't have anybody down there because they're not set. So I don't know if that's something that is an adjustment that they're trying to run some type of different offense, but I don't like that. I'd rather have both of those two guys inside, underneath, remaining where they are.
They got a Brookdale foul. That has Paul Chizek in a tizzy. And the yelling match continues. Nonetheless, it's Buccaneer basketball. They get another opportunity.
Well, it's an opportunity now that Atlantic Cape has to convert on, because they're starting to run out of time, under 4.5 minutes to play. You've got to make these opportunities count if you're the Bucks.
The foul was on Calhoun. Centino for 3, doesn't go, and Sutton keeps it in bounds but gives it away. Same team there with Samuels and Allen. Allen on the drive and the layup. Allen got to the basket with not much resistance. Right around Calhoun. Here is Sutton on a step back, in and out, and the rebound Hudgens. It's a 9-point game, 66-57. Brookdale leads it. Centino with Gatling on him. Hudgens had it go through his hands, but he regathers and scores.
And they've moved Price. I talked about it a moment ago. They've moved Price to the foul line. I think it's because they're trying to get Hudgens inside set up, and that time he was able to make that possession work. But I still like having Price along with his teammate inside in that paint area.
3 minutes to go. Gatling inside, the pass almost went in. Calhoun puts it back up and in. It was almost an inadvertent bucket for Brookdale there, but it turns into one the more conventionally.
Yeah, I was going to wonder who would get the credit for those points on that possession, actually.
Samuels baseline drive inside, taken away by Hawkins. Bounce it ahead, Forbes. And then taken back by the Buccaneers. Here comes Centino, 3-on-2, bounce pass, and rocking the rim two-hand style is Hudgens.
What teamwork there. Allen goes to make an incredible play, saves it, and then Centino's able to scoop it up and give it over to Hudgens to finish. Atlantic Cape's not going away. They're still in this game. They're running out of time, but they're still in this. And you see the frustration there by Coach Chisak, just not very good transition defense.
So we have a timeout with 2:16 remaining. Atlantic Cape makes the most of the roster that they had, though. Only 7 players available, as you mentioned, with some players that have gone in and out throughout the year. But they've got a good mix. They've got the guards in Centino and Allen. They got the 2 big guys in Price and Hudgens. And together, that makes a formidable group.
Yeah, I mean, you know, certainly they've played well. And like I said, I like the 2 bigs inside. I really like the way that they've performed.
Brookdale basketball is sponsored by Joyce's Subs and Pizza. They are located at 655 Newman Springs Road in Lincroft and available online at joycessubsandpizza.com. Down the stretch we go in this game. It's been a good one. Brookdale trying to hang on, and they work with a 7-point lead, 68-61. It's Jersey Blue basketball outside the timeout. Reset the lineup. They have Sutton, Hawkins, Gatling, Smith, and Calhoun, the 5 on the floor. Time becoming of the essence. Smith back for Gatling. Not a threat from out there. Down to 8 to shoot. Sutton back outside. Smith to the basket. And he misses the shot. It's rebounded by Hudgens.
That's just not a very good possession. Nobody really moving inside for Brookdale.
Centino off the nice assist from Allen. And this is now a 5-point game. Big possession here for Brookdale.
So someone's got to move inside. That paint area is open.
Hawkins is stripped and Gatling is out of bounds.
And I like the aggressiveness by Hawkins to go inside where that paint was open, but you got to have somebody come in there so Hawkins can maybe hit him with a pass to set some type of offense up, because every time Hawkins drives inside like that, Atlantic Cape is smart enough to collapse on defense.
Allen went down as he released the 3. There was no call, but Centino's got it back. As we come up on 1 minute remaining, and Gatling the steal. Gatling lobs it up, Sutton catches it. The shot misses. Brookdale a little discombobulated, couldn't execute down near the basket, and now Smith will slow it down so Brookdale can eat some clock. And a foul committed by Allen out top on Smith. We'll have a timeout. Allen just picked up number 4. And we got another break in the action with 45.6 remaining. We'll be right back.
Hello. If you're looking to have fun and hold on. If you're looking to have fun and meet some people with the same interests as you came to the right place. Here at Brookdale, we have the Involvement Fair, where over 30 different clubs and activities are showing students what they're all about and trying to recruit new members. If you like math, poetry, writing, theater, odds are you find the group that's right for you. Let's go check it out.
My name is Justice Lawless, and I'm here looking at all the clubs. So far, I saw the Outdoor Sports Club, the Student Life Board, and the Education Club.
And my name is Isaiah Brinson, and I am the treasurer for the Architecture Society. Our goal is to try to bring in the incoming students who are interested in architecture, get them accustomed, pair them up with a second year so they understand and so they know, like sort of like a guide.
Jersey Blues are vying for their 7th win in a row. The 6-game winning streak is a season high in a year that has been made up of a lot of different streaks, both good and bad, but lately it's been good. and as the Jersey Blues up to the number 6 spot in the Region 19 standings, as they look for win number 16 on the season overall. Brookdale ball outside the timeout. Smith, Gatling lobs it up. Calhoun missed it, trying to finish all in one motion. Back the other way, the Bucks out of the floor. Centino, he misses off the glass, and it's rebounded by Sutton.
Got a foul
Atlantic
here.
Cape should foul as Sutton backs it out to the corner, and now the foul committed by Price.
I tell you, both teams got incredibly lucky. Atlantic Cape out of that inbounds pass got incredibly lucky that Calhoun couldn't finish. And then Brookdale at the other end, there was nobody back. Centino I think he just got nervous and he put it up with way too much force and he blew the layup. That should have been an easy layup for the Bucks, and it should be a 3-point game right now.
16 fouls apiece. It's Brookdale to inbound underneath with Hawkins. Jersey Blues hold a 5-point lead. Hawkins looking, and is that an offensive foul? It's a foul before the inbounds, but it's on the Buccaneers. And that's going to mean free throws.
And that may actually not be a bad thing. That may be a blessing in disguise for Atlantic Cape, because if you don't get the steal out of the inbounds pass, you have to foul immediately. Brookdale can really take a lot of time off the clock, so it may not necessarily be a bad thing.
And Sutton misses it in a 1-on-1 situation. Here's Allen to the basket, high off the glass. It doesn't go. And it's taken by Hawkins. Bucks have to foul, and Samuels does on Hawkins. He'll walk over to the other end to shoot.
I tell you what, that's 2 buckets, Brian, now that Atlantic Cape has had in close proximity 2 layups, and Brookdale has missed their opportunities at the other end. That's going to drive Coach Anderson nuts tonight, trying to go to sleep, thinking about how close this team could have gotten to Brookdale late in the game. Another
Hawkins,
miss.
though, misses again. The door is open for the Buccaneers. Allen for 3. He's got it. It's a 2-point game.
Not over yet.
They got a foul. Time running off the clock. 8 seconds left. And Gatling is fouled. Gatling shoots free throws at a 75% clip as you get a look at Allen making this one even tighter. 7.9 to go.
And Coach Anderson was upset at Centino for not fouling. He said, "Why didn't you foul?" And Centino said, "Well, I got 4 personal fouls." Coach Anderson said, "I don't care. You got to foul at that point because they let 5 seconds come off the clock."
Gatling doesn't get it to go. He's got the rebound. 5 seconds left. 3 seconds and Sutton is fouled, and that is it for Ashawn Centino. He has just picked up number 5, and he will watch the remaining 2.6 from the Buccaneer bench. Brookdale has not been able to put this game to bed
And
because they keep missing free throws.
It's still not over. I mean, I know that this is going to sound strange, but if Sutton misses either one of these foul shots, it's still not over.
It's now 10 team fouls on Atlantic Cape. This is a 2-shot foul for Sutton. First one, it was a 1-and-1. So finally Brookdale converts there. They had 3 straight 1-and-1s that they missed the front end. This is a big one to make it a 2-possession Brookdale lead. Sutton puts it up, doesn't go, and a timeout will be taken by Atlantic Cape. Now, the last time we had a similar situation, Atlantic Cape took a timeout when they had 1 on the shot clock. They came out of that, and Centeno hit a bomb 3. Now 1.8 of game clock, and they're trying to devise a 3 to tie the game here.
A mentor to help them out during their first year.
My name is Bailey. I'm the president of Theater Club. What we do every week is we do a lot of improvisational games, and there's no experience necessary, no participation necessary. If you just want to come and have fun, then that's kind of what we're here for. This semester, we've also made it a point to kind of switch things up a bit. So we have like a T-shirt day. We're celebrating Halloween and Thanksgiving, and we have a partnership with Alliance. So we have a date where we're going to collaborate.
I'm really interested in performing arts, so I was looking at like theater club and a cappella, but I've seen clubs that have to do with like anime, and there's like all different types for literally every interest.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yes! Well, guys, I think I found the club that's right for me. To learn more, visit our website at brookdalecc.edu. I'm Sophia Pearl with Brookdale Television. Thanks for watching.
69-66. Brookdale looking to hang on. 1.8 seconds remaining as Atlantic Cape devises a plan to try to get a game tying 3.
And the only difference is that is different from the one time that Atlantic Cape had won the shoot in the shot clock is they have to come all the way down the floor as opposed to inbounding at half court.
It'll be Pierce to inbound it. Calhoun in his face. Pierce in for Allen. Allen at the horn. Way short. And Atlantic Cape comes up short tonight as they put up a valiant effort. But the Jersey Blues defend their home court and get the victory. The final score tonight, the Jersey Blues 69 and the Atlantic Cape Buccaneers 66. And what turned out to be a terrific game. These teams wind up splitting the season series on the season, and this was not an easy game for Brookdale. They had their hands full all game, but did just enough to close that down the stretch. Almost gave it away by missing their free throws, but for Atlantic Cape, their lack of execution down the stretch really cost them.
Yeah, I talked about it during the game. Coach Anderson is going to go back and look at this game tonight and just be absolutely beside himself because his team had so many opportunities down the stretch. A couple of missed layups that they had underneath the basket that would have totally changed the dynamic of the game late in the game because Brookdale missed those foul shots at the line. The team that's historically pretty good at foul shooting, but they just came up short in the end. Brookdale, though, I think this was a little bit too close for comfort. It wasn't really a dominating win from what we've seen in different parts of the season. And out of all the wins that Brookdale's had as of late, I think this is the one that they struggled the most in because they really didn't use some of their big-time players inside a whole lot. Jameer Calhoun, even though he had a decent night, wasn't really all that active in the post. Trey Gatlin didn't have a very big night inside as well. So that's an area I think that Brookdale's got to be concerned with because Atlantic Cape did their job. They got points in the paint, and they hung with Brookdale for a full 40 minutes. That's something that we have not been able to say for too many teams in this Region 19 conference this year.
So Brookdale ends up getting the win. It was not easy tonight, but they are now 16-7 on the year. They have a 7-game winning streak. That's their longest of the season as they continue to try to rise up in the Region 19 standings, currently sitting in the number 6 spot. So that's it for our coverage today. For Tim Catalfamo, the rest of our crew, I'm Brian Gouthard saying thanks for watching, and we'll be back here on Thursday for a women's game as they take on Essex. We'll see you then here on Brookdale TV.